Ten,
Standby to take studio.
7, 6,
Standby
5,
camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Hello and welcome to the first official episode of MCTV's 27th season. No offense to our grade 9 counterparts. I'm your host, Bolen.
And I'm William Luger. On today's show, Avery Thompson shows us the major adjustments to teaching due to the pandemic. Anna Lesburg covers a legal farm as they prepare for the upcoming farming season. Joy Bourgeois brings us her first installment of The Joy of Baking, and Skylar Boissonnault and Anna Lesburg showcase their regional skills video. But first, our top story.
During the pandemic, many of us have been cooped up in our homes, often lounging on the couch and having no motivation to get up in the morning. With these standards, people's overall mental health has declined significantly. That's why the 2021 installment of Mental Health Awareness Month is even more essential to individuals across the province. I had a chance to talk with citizens about this important initiative and filed this report.
Throughout the year, mental health has been often overlooked and misunderstood. However, since the pandemic, it has been a challenging struggle for students and staff.
One of the main things is just physically being here present in the schools. So we are here at Morinville Community High School, George H. Primo Middle School, Notre Dame Elementary, St. Kateri Tekakwitha Academy, and then also Luger School.
While students and staff have a safe space to relieve their stress at the schools and become more informed about mental health, there are many in the community who have to take measures into their own hands.
I've always enjoyed relaxing outside. It's after a busy day, it is always refreshing to go outside.
First of all, vitamin D, I think for after the few months that we're being inside. So yeah, and I love to get fresh air. And yeah, the kids love it outside, so we just go on a nice day.
Opening the door for people to freely speak about their mental health and how to improve it can be essential. And it is one of the many ways to understand the importance of mental health.
It's kind of a specific answer, and it's also unique to each individual because there's certain things that work for certain people, and it's not a, one fit all type of answer.
Especially in the last year and a bit, my job's turned to online, so I must leave the house after the day because sitting on the couch staring at a screen is very stressful, and coming outside really balances that as much as I can.
It's part of our whole health, our whole well-being. A lot of the times we look at it as separate. It's, physical health versus mental health, and they're actually very much combined.
Although going outside in nature isn't for everyone, there are some aspects that improve your quality of life.
Gives you different perspective, changes your scenery, gets you out of whatever space you were in. So even just doing something like a long walk, a hike, changing your scenery, and if that involves being outside, then I would definitely say it can improve your mental health.
There are many different ways to manage mental health. Some of this can include listening to music, going outside, drawing, or self-care. Whatever the case is, mental health is important. For MCTV News, Bolen reporting. Welcome back. It looks like spring has finally sprung, folks. Warmer temperatures and, as always, lots of wind. To update us on Warrenville's 7-day forecast, here is our very own meteorologist, Will Luger.
All right, so for St. John's, we got 12 degrees and cloudy. A lot on the east side of Canada, from Ontario to the Maritimes and St. John's. Mostly sunny and cloudy, with Toronto having a chance of precipitation. We got Winnipeg, rainy and 20 degrees, Regina, 7 degrees and rainy, Vancouver, 17 degrees and rainy. And now, for moving on to Alberta. All right, so the northern part of the province, more sunny. The southern part of the province, more rainy, 13 degrees and partly cloudy in Edmonton, 10 degrees and more so cloudy in Red Deer, and And now we move on to the temperature in Morinville. All right, 10 degrees. The wind is going 17 kilometers per hour northeast. 50% chance of precipitation. And now to move on to the forecast of this week. All right, so Wednesday, high of 17, low of 9. Thursday, high of 22, low of 9. Friday, high of 14, low of 8. Saturday, high of 18, low of 7. Sunday, high of 21, low of 9. Monday, 9 of 26, low of 11. And Tuesday, high of 26 and low of 13. And that's our weather.
Thanks, Will. It's definitely been a struggle for educators across the province with jumping back and forth from online and in-person classes and back again, and the teachers at MCHS are no exception. They had to overcome these struggles and are pushing forward as we head towards the end of the 2020-2021 school year. Avery Thompson had a chance to talk with several teachers at the school to see what those challenges have been.
Although Morinville hasn't been hit as hard as other communities, we have still been affected by the COVID pandemic. This year has been one for the books. The students have been doing everything they can to keep up with the changes to our new school systems and finish this year smoothly. The most obvious challenge with the new quarter system is the 3-hour-long classes.
The issue with the 3-hour classes is that it is a lot of information for students to take in all at once. I think that some students require a little bit more processing time than the 3 hours provides.
However, teachers who teach optional subjects seem to have a different take on the situation.
I teach theater, so in the drama room, 3-hour classes is brilliant. We get so much done. We're so much more ambitious. It's been really good.
A lot of teachers have had to quickly adjust their teaching styles and, though time-consuming, develop new ones.
This has made me much more aware of how long it can be sitting in the classes, in the classroom for so long in these chairs, and just making sure that we're keeping active the whole time, that our brains are active, that no one's kind of sitting and just feeling as though they have to take in so much all at one time, because that can be very stressful. So I think for the future, it has taught me a lot of important things about what I need to do as a teacher to make students want to be here as much as possible.
Another issue with the pandemic teaching is that teachers have had to learn how to teach in person and online simultaneously.
You have to be thinking in two ways, and you have to be trying to meet very diverse needs all at the same time, which is a thing that teachers are being more asked to do more and more.
Although online learning has been difficult for students and staff, there have been some definite advantages.
I think one of the best things to come out of this actually has been setting up the Google Meet every day, because kids that are not in isolation or they're not doing online learning, if they're just missing a day, they still sign on. And so they don't miss out on a lesson.
No one knows what the future will hold, and no one knows how long our new learning environment will last. Learning in a pandemic hasn't been easy, but as a school, we're doing our best with it. We will all remember the years 2020 to 2021 and how different our learning experience was. For MCTV News, Avery Thompson reporting.
Here are your school announcements for Tuesday, May 25th. Are you interested in having a career in policing? Well, you're in luck, because the Edmonton Police Service is hosting a Youth Recruit Academy for Edmonton area high school students. This includes presentations from police units such as K9, Air 1, Traffic, and Public Safety. It will be held at St. Joseph Catholic High School from July 6th to 9th. To find out how to apply, contact Mrs. Christensen. As well, grade 12s that are attending post-secondary next year, there are many scholarships available. These can be found on the website scholartree.ca. The G Sacred Education Foundation are offering 4 $250 scholarships to current grade 9 students who are confirmed with their grade 10 registrations at G Sacred High School. Application deadline is Monday, May 31st. Just a reminder to all students using the student parking lot, please slow down. Students are walking out there and people are pulling out in their vehicles, so you need to be cautious. Remember to take your time when entering and leaving the parking lot. For all these and all other school information, keep connected by listening to the daily announcements, logging on to the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Warrenville.
Okay. Up next, Anna Lesburg had the opportunity recently to visit a local legal farm owned by the Ozipko family as they prepare to seed barley for the upcoming season. She files this report.
Last weekend, I had the chance to visit the locally owned and operated Ozipko farm out in Legal. Run by the same family for generations, the farm is gearing up for another year.
This will be my 44th year that I'm planting a crop, and I'm only 57. So my first crop I seeded was 1977 because my dad passed away the year before and I was 12 years old. So that year I planted a crop with my mom, but I was probably doing most of it, and I was 12.
I started operating kind of at 8 years old, so about 6 years.
The beginning of May is typically the time when farmers begin preparing their fields for planting. This is no easy task with many acres and a variety of crops to manage.
I mainly plant three things. Canola for the crush business that makes your canola oil. I grow wheat, two kinds of wheat, one called the CPS, which is more of a wheat based for pastas and macaronis. And the other wheat I grow is a hard red, which is quite common for most people know what hard red's for, and that's for your breads, your donuts, and that kind of flour. And the last thing I grow and that I'm seeding today is barley, a feed barley that would be used in the feed market for chickens, beef, and the pork industry.
Due to the slightly drier conditions, it's possible to seed the fields a few days earlier than usual. The effort and time required for seeding can be just as harrowing as harvest season and requires careful planning.
We started yesterday, April 30th, which was kind of on the early side, though this year's been dry. So usually I start seeding May 3rd, May 4th. But today we'll be seeding feed barley.
I do all kinds of stuff, mainly harrow and grain cart in the fall and spring, and all kinds of miscellaneous jobs.
Though early, this looks to be the start of a successful growing season. For MCTV News, this is Anna Lesburg reporting.
Welcome back. Here to give us the latest news of the NHL, NBA, and MLB is our very own sports analysis, Dovina Bolen.
Thanks, Will. Last night in the NHL, round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs continued. In Game 4 of their best-of-7 series, Winnipeg finished off the Oilers' season with a dramatic 4-3 win in triple overtime. Vegas lost to Minnesota 4-2, keeping the Wild's playoff hopes alive. The Golden Knights currently lead that series 3-2. Toronto took a 2-1 series lead with a 2-1 victory over Montreal. The Islanders beat the Pens in double overtime 3-2 to take a 3-2 series lead, and Florida fended off elimination for a second straight game, winning 4-1 over Tampa Bay. The Lightning still holds a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series. On to the NBA playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks dominated with a 132-98 victory over the Miami Heat. They currently lead that series 2-0. And Nuggets evened up their series with the Trailblazers with a 128-109 victory. That series stands at 1 game apiece. In the majors, Tampa Bay beat Toronto in extra innings 14-8. Cleveland edged Detroit 6-5. The Twins dominated the Orioles 8-3. The Chicago White Sox made short work of the St. Louis Cardinals 5-1, and Seattle doubled Oakland 4-2. Coming up next, 4 members of our very own MCTV crew competed earlier this spring in the video production competition for Skills Alberta. First up, they had to qualify at a regional competition to earn their spot at last month's provincials. Skylar Boissonnault and Anna Lesburg had to produce a 1-minute video based on the topic, "What is the most important lesson you ever learned in school?" Here's their video that earned them a ticket to the Skills Alberta competition.
What do you mean you can't make it? You know what? It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Here is a look at upcoming events in Morinville and area. The 40th annual Northern Alberta International Children's Festival of the Arts will be held from June 1st to June 6th. For more information, head online to stalbert.ca. The Morinville Farmers Market is back. Head down to the Rendezvous Center every Sunday from 12 to 4 p.m. The outside version will run until September and will move indoors for the months of October and November.
Coming up next, we have our very own Joy Bourgeois sharing her love of baking blueberry muffins in a segment entitled The Joy of Baking. Sounds joylicious. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, this is Joy here, and today I will be showing you how to make my blueberry muffins. So let's get started.
You will start off with flour, then add baking powder, then salt, then brown sugar, because I find it tastes better than white sugar. I also like to spice up my muffins with nutmeg and cinnamon, mixing it all together. Next, take olive oil, milk, and a whisked egg, adding it to your dry ingredients, stirring it all together so that it is coated and mixed evenly. You add in blueberries into your batter, enough of them so that every muffin has an equal amount of blueberries. Now, as you can see, I have been putting my batter in fairly even amounts into my muffin pan. "25 minutes at 400 degrees to bake. You will find my blueberry muffins taste amazing and go really well with tea. Thanks for watching The Joy of Baking with Joy.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Hopefully join us again on Friday, May 28th, when our stories will include upgrades to the MCHS Foods program, a look at a local business dance connection, as well as another segment of The Joy of Baking. Plus, there's a piece where Liam Weeks gives us his recommendations for what you should be watching on Netflix. All this, plus your sport highlights and Warrenville's 7-day weather forecast on the next installment of MCTV News. Finally, we're back in class for school. I hated online.
Yeah, it was really awkward to do online.
Yeah, my motivation went out the window.
Yeah, it was especially weird to do MCTV online because we weren't actually,
there. Yeah. For all of us at MCTV News, I'm Davina Bolen.
And I'm William Luger. Thanks for tuning in.